If you could tell your parents one thing without consequence repercussions, what would it be? You're an alcoholic mum. You've lost every single person dear to you. Go to rehab or you'll end up dead in your own home really soon. Edit. To everyone sharing their stories of loved ones killing themselves from alcohol abuse. I'm so sorry. If anyone just wants to vent, please MSG me. I'm all ears. My dad drinks. 2. I live with him at the moment and well, try to help him how I can. The frustrating part was the denial even after going to rehab. I mean, when I was younger he could trick me, but now is just sad and pathetic. His mind vanishes whenever he takes a small sip. I was just sick of having panic attacks every single night. So I just told him. Now whenever he chooses to drink I choose to not give a FCK. If he has to get out I go with him so he won't fall and bleed for hours alone again. I cook dinner and if he starts talking I just tell him to shut up or I'll record it and show him tomorrow. If he continues I record him, send it to him and go to my room. At this point I know he won't live much longer by choice. So the best I can do is kinda help if I can and not give a fuck. Crying and yelling didn't help last time. Calling the doctors against his will did. If he's unable I'll treat him like so. Everyone chooses who they are with every little action they do and how they react to others' actions. I don't mind being cold or treating him like a child. I'd rather live calm than try to change an alcoholic's behavior. This divorce is not your damn fking fault. IT just didn't work out, now get over yourself and be a parent for me. I have a friend turning into Miss Havison after a brutal divorce. She tries on her wedding dress every day. Constantly talks about her ex-husband. Her poor daughter is adrift. I've seriously thought of going over there and stealing the dress. I used to call her daughter every day to check in, but what she really needs is her mom. Daughter moved in with her dad, so now that's just one more injustice he's inflicted on my friend. He's a major asshole and is only marginally better. The second he can't use his daughter to torture my friend he'll ship her back. I've called the police a couple of times because I'm worried she's going to harm herself. She refuses all help. Edit. OMG. She posting photos of herself in the wedding dress. I think it's a complete mental break now. I didn't go to uni because I wanted a degree. I went so I could make new friends and enjoy life without your illogical rules over me. Graduate with a 2.1 and then tell you both to go FCK yourselves for saying I'd only be stacking shelves in a supermarket. Edit. Thanks Reddit. My most rated comment is officially the one I tell my parents to FCK themselves. To those gave me an award. Thank you very much. You have made my drunken pre-lockdown session 1000x better. Edit 2.1. 2k? Really? You guys never cease to amaze me. The other 5 who gave me awards, I'm praying for your success in life. You know how you said I'd understand when I was older? Yeah. I'm near middle age now. You're still an asshole. Mom. Actually, why don't you tell her this? I guess I'm a emotionless asshole who don't care what others think of me. That I know my grandfather raped my mother when she was a child. And find a way to console her without digging up the past. Edit. I hate him and she doesn't know why. And I can't tell her why because I don't want to remind her. I wish you lived closer to me and my family. Or at least made plans to visit us as regularly as you visit my brothers. I'm jealous that you spend weekends visiting them and their families. But only spend a few hours with mine. I have a 7-month-old son who you have barely met. But insist I drive an hour each way to my brother's house while you're in town. I've invited you to stay at our house. But you've even declined our invitation to spend Christmas here because you always spend it with my brother and his kids won't understand why you aren't there. As much as you both drive me crazy. You're great parents. And now that you're in your late 70s I live every day terrified that this will be your last day. I don't know how I'll get by when you're gone. This is exactly how I feel about my parents. I've imagined sometimes what I'd be like when that time comes and I always reach the same conclusion after a few seconds in that thought. A fking mess. Because I said so is the lamest reason to do not do anything. I was the one that scratched my name into the TV stand when I was a kid. I blamed it on my sister and we were so young. And she picked on me so often that she's thought this whole time she probably did do it. We're both in our late 20s now. But yeah. Sorry mom. That's hilarious. My niece used to bite her arm and blame it on her older brother. She got caught doing it on camera eventually, when she didn't know she was being recorded. Your confession is less evil than that. For sure. Kind of reminds me of my mom's story. Her and her older brother never got along. They were moving to a new house and he was going up and down these stairs. My mother, who was like 6 at the time, took a baseball down and laid it on one of the steps. She expected him to slip on it and fall down the stairs. Like a cartoon. But no. He slipped on it and fell up the stairs and crashed into the windows and broke his arm. He immediately laid blame on my mom. And she said the baseball had been there the entire time. Their mother believed my mom. She confessed like 6 years ago and said she regretted nothing. I paid for college by selling mushrooms. They just thought I was clever with a dishwashing job. That you both need intense therapy and probably a divorce. My parents would have saved themselves and the family a whole lot of heartache if they hadn't waited until 2008, 22 years, to divorce. It was clear from even when I was young that they had grown into 2 entirely different people and no longer had anything in common. I will say that my parents did a lot of things right. They treated my siblings and I great. Instilled good values and discipline. But they sure as shit did not teach us what a healthy relationship is supposed to look like. I'm gay and had sex with your best friend's daughter. You and dad need to stop spending every penny on drugs and alcohol and use the cash on us instead. I'm sorry to hear this. If you're old enough, you might find Al-Anon useful. There's other groups as well for children of alcoholic addict parents. A lot of groups have switched to online Zoom meetings, which might be even more convenient if you have no transportation and or have social anxiety. Just being able to talk to others that are going through or have gone through the same as you can help. Please stop forcing your failed dreams onto me. I have my own dreams. I don't want to live for you. I want to live for myself. If this is called being selfish, then I am selfish. I support people who choose to be selfish. No one is going to share the burden or pain inflicted other than yourself. Go on. Be selfish. It's your life and your right to have complete control and choices over it. You almost drove me to suicide. And when I tried to tell you, you brushed me off and told me that everyone felt like that. I was self-harming and trying to figure out why you hated me. I was 11. I am now 13. And things got better. And now they are getting steadily worse. It's not physical abuse. So I can tell anyone that would make a difference. You have finally given me access to a psychologist to get the help that I need for self-harming. But I could be waiting months. I want you to understand the harm that you are doing. As soon as I leave for university when I'm 18, I hope to go no contact. And make it stay this way. I stay at the library for an hour and a half every day after school to get away from you. Dad, you intentionally provoke all of my triggers. And have had me on the edge of a panic attack several times. And then get offended when I don't take it well. Sister, you cling to me. And don't let me have friends at school. However, at home, you insult me. And don't want me to exist. Mum, you barely know me. I have so many hobbies and interests that you have no clue about. Because you like to create a perfect image about me in your head. You won't let me get a job until I'm 18. So even though I'm in the UK, I don't know how I'm going to pay to get the degree and doctorate that I want. You don't let me go to school for the dumbest reasons. And I hope that when I move out, you take a hard look at yourself. And realize that had we not have a wonderful dog, I would not be here right now. I hate you. You were selfish and I always came in last. I was unbelievably happy the day I left for good. If it makes you feel good or bad. I had nightmares. And still do. At 55 years old. You're always chasing me. Trying to catch up while I'm frantically running away. So glad when you both died. This is my honest truth. I love you but I do not like you. Please be quiet and listen. Politics. Man. Exposing all the shitty people. Mine would be very similar. Something like, the two of you can be the kindest, most generous people in the world. You'll spend an entire day helping a neighbor just because they need it. But your politics make you hateful, spiteful, fearful people. It colors the way I see you as people. And ultimately makes me question just how much I should put up with. I don't want to go to med school. I want to be a mechanic. Speaking as someone who dropped out of law school to go be a baker. Be a mechanic. You really don't want to take on that kind of debt for something that's only going to make you miserable. Life is too short to spend most of it unhappy. You're a great child but a terrible parent. Mine were horrific parents to me. But I forgive them because they are such amazing grandparents to my daughter. Now that I have children I realize that 1. You were good parents and 2. You were also really bad at some things. In other words, you're not perfect and never will be but you did show me love and that is pretty damn important. Dad. You're a narcissist. I'm sorry for myself that I loved you as much as I did. Mom. I was a child. I shouldn't have been your emotional substitute for your husband. You needed to divorce him years ago. Ultimately, both of you failed near completely raising a whole, balanced child. And though I understand you didn't know what you were doing, I will still never forgive you. I'm going to spend the rest of my life cleaning up the mess you made with me when I didn't know any better. You stole my childhood. There's a reason I moved across the continent alone. You wouldn't have stopped the abuse if you had known. You didn't know. I only stopped talking about it because it was obvious nothing was changing. Our relationship is damaged because you are manipulative and never put in the work. Despite many chances. My sister is an addict because you enabled her behavior and gave her the poison so she would stay with you. It breaks my heart that you love my sister more than me. I have worked my fingers to the bone 10+ years to make you proud and yet no matter what plans we have, you always drop them for her. She's running from a 6 felony case where her co-defendant got 31 years. She had open heart surgery because of an infected needle on Thanksgiving and still refuses to get clean. She's stolen from all of us. She's brought dirty needles into your house and around children. She's broken into my home and stolen my savings. Twice. You still have a kid who wants a relationship with you. But your actions to enable an addict might cause an insurmountable rift. Hey Dad. Remember the time you lent me your car and I told you I got robbed? I actually just forgot where I parked and never found it. Remember Adam Carolla's Rich Man Poor Man segments? Where people would come up with things that were true of both the very rich and very poor, but not the middle class. Like being chronically unemployed. Or having an outdoor shower? That is this comment. I'm picturing either a family that could afford to just write off a car or a car that was so broken down that it would have been more effort searching for it than it was worth. I don't love you because you're racist and homophobic. I only pretend to because I'm still financially relying on you. Also, I'm transgender and dating a man. Get over it. I wish I could tell my mother how much I love her and how wonderful of a job I think she did raising me. Sadly the consequence is that I'd be speaking to a gravestone as she passed away unexpectedly of a heart attack 6 months ago at 54 years old. Fortunately I told her these things often while she was still alive so I have no regrets. My suggestion is that you don't know when your parents might leave this world. Say what you must. Good or bad. In such a way that you won't carry regrets when they do pass. It could be at any time. I kinda did this. I told her she was a terrible mother while walking out for the last time. I wished her good luck and never looked back. It's been 5, maybe 6 years. Save for the fact that she found my address and sent me a card for my birthday. I've not heard from her. Life is infinitely better. Toxic people are dangerous to you regardless of blood relation. You can and should leave that relationship behind you. To my biological father. You've abandoned me when I was little. You left my mother and I for drugs. Now you want to come back in my life. Especially now that I hadn't heard from you in 30 years? Go FCK yourself. I've hated you for always putting your other kids and yourself before me. I know my dad cheated on my mom. It bothers me and I want to talk about it. But I probably never will. Someone nutting in you then letting it stew for 9 months doesn't make you a mother. It makes you a toaster oven. You never took care of your kids. You failed them over and over again and never took any accountability. And then you wonder why they all struggled with addiction when you kicked them out if they couldn't pay rent. All the while giving hundreds to the church every week. I did tell her. And it was the best diet I ever went on. Lost 150 pounds of useless twat. I've been a victim of pedophilia for years and after that of sexual harassment till he died of cancer and you two didn't notice anything? Are you stupid? And stop saying that I don't have some mental problems and help me pay a fine therapist. Orphan ACC cause I've got shit to say but don't want it connected back to me. Now on with it. Staying together isn't better for my brother and I. You keep making us, Sib and I, choose sides by acting like you're better than the other. Instead of admitting you're both flawed in different ways. We love you both. And I know you love us back. But please just take a minute and think this through. I know you're both smart people and can come to an agreement that works. Mother. I'm still hurt by the fact that you've always favored your other children over me. What have I done to be undeserving of your love? Although I've moved on from it. It still hurts to know that you wanted me to have an abortion. Was stealing my birthday and babysitting money worth it? Dad. Thank you for loving me and raising me. But I'm not sure why you can never be supportive of my choices and judgment. Both. When I needed parents and love during some of the hardest times in my life. You weren't always there. I was alone. I had to figure it out with no guidance or help or support. Finally. I do want to thank you mother for being an awful person and mom to me. I will never have my daughter feel the abandonment and unworthiness you've made me feel my entire life. I'm in my early 30s and don't know how to have a functioning relationship. I'm awkward and uncomfortable with emotions and affection. I don't know how to have an honest conversation when I'm feeling conflicted. I feel like the quality of all types of relationships are contingent upon the other person's mood. I hate walking on eggshells and suppressing my personality because it's too much. I would tell my mom that she did not have to worry about me and my brother. We would be okay. And that we love her. My mom died when I was 18 and I had to legally adopt my younger brother who was around 10 or so at the time. No dad around to help. Now 50 with 5 kids and he just got married to the love of his life. We still miss her. That I'm non-binary. It's actually just as hard to say it on Reddit since I've been downvoted for saying it before. But I just want to tell her without her going all no you're a girl. A child of God. You need to realize that and probably try and douse me in holy water. I love you and know you are good people. But good people can be trapped by bad ideas. Stop watching so much Fox News. Because the values you support are no longer the ones you raised me with. Mum. You belittled me and abused me. You pushed for me to be your best friend and I haven't spoken with you for 4 years now. Blew up in your face, didn't it? Dad. Please don't smoke. I don't want to watch you waste away from cancer. Please.